Small Evil takes out Grin Theory in an incredible match. Maybe even the best match so far of this event. I mean, that was just incredible.
You call that a good match? Small Evil's bound to win that match. He already won before the match even started. His stare alone sent a million thoughts rushing through Grin Theory's head just for a second, but that alone wasn't enough to cost him the whole match. A rookie such as Grin Theory wouldn't typically be playing against a high caliber player such as Small Evil, so while he might have tried his best to keep his composure, it's obvious that his mental fortitude crumbled the second Small Evil looked his way. If it weren't for that, I'd say Grin Theory probably would have won.
Wow. Incredible insight from Parallax. I mean, this should show you guys why he is the pro and I am just the commentator. Well, this next match is going to be an interesting one for sure, as we have the rematch between Nacho Cheese Monster and the Greedy Goblin. What do you think, Parallax? Do you think Nacho Cheese Monster is going to get her revenge from last time? Or do you think the Greedy Goblin is going to come out on top?
If you think this match is going to be anything other than predictable, you're dead wrong.
Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to see about that in the next match.
The following match is set for 2 falls.
Alright, let's take a look at Nacho Cheese Monster's stats from the first round. Played 3 games, scoring 65 across those 3 games. Highest damage attack, 26. Very, very impressive numbers considering in previous tournaments she is known to not attack at all. So with such a new concept for her, it's impressive that she's able to get these big numbers out there so easily. As we can see, her deck is extremely beast reliant. 14 beasts costing a total of 35. Only 7 wishes used and only 3 grottos used. In total, spending 59, which is definitely on the medium to low end, especially across 3 games. So it's going to be interesting to see how Greedy Goblin will respond to Nacho Cheese Monster's very, very resourceful deck.
Man in the universe, the Greedy
Now, these are the stats that I've been waiting to see, because that first round was very interesting for the Greedy Goblin, scoring 48 cards across 2 games, which seems like a lot, but remember, he needs 21 to win. This means that in order for him to win in 2 games, he needs to score 42 cards. So only being 6 above is definitely strange, considering all the competitors so far have scored miles ahead of their necessary score goal, right? His highest damage attack only being 9, which is the lowest from anybody we've seen in the semifinals so far. And we can see he only played a total of 10 cards throughout both those games. 4 Beasts, 5 Wishes, and 1 Grotto. Total spent 30. Across 2 games, that's definitely on the low end. Very, very impressive, though, that he managed to do so much with so little. So I'm curious to see if he's going to continue to, push for a less is more kind of strategy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the match that everybody has been waiting for. Nacho Cheese Monster versus the Greedy Goblin. A matchup that we thought we weren't going to see again since the first time back in 2023 when the Greedy Goblin absolutely demolished Nacho Cheese Monster and her Germa Jupiter deck. But now she is running her Food Fight deck, which has brought her to the semifinals for the first time in her career. As we saw, Nacho Cheese Monster is still running that auto. She may choose a type of beast, and all beasts that share the same type on her team gain 1 power. And the Greedy Goblin running that Mr. Greens. That Mr. Greens is very, very destructive. Anything that has to do with rolling dice, playing rock, paper, scissors, flipping a coin, you name it, he can do it twice. And if he gets the same result on a die twice, then he can score 3 cards. Very, very powerful card. Both players deciding whether or not they like their hand. We saw the Greedy Goblin mulligan once, but it looks like he is good to go. And it looks like both of them are ready to play rock, paper, scissors. Nacho Cheese Monster has a bit of a problem there, but she selects her card, and she beats the Greedy Goblin in rock, paper, scissors. Maybe this is a sign of what's to come in this match. Will Nacho Cheese Monster take out the Greedy Goblin and go to the final? She is choosing for Greedy Goblin to go first. Let's see what he decides to do here. He looks absolutely unfazed, and he's going to go ahead and play that aimbot. That aimbot, when attacking or defending, he gets to roll a 6-sided die, and whatever it lands on is how much damage he's doing. We see he passes it over to Nacho Cheese Monster. She draws for the start of her turn, and let's see, what will she do? She's eyeballing those power-up cards. Maybe she's going to save those for some huge attack later on. And looking at that Jelly Monkey, maybe to get rid of, because that Jelly Monkey really is of no use right now. Let's see here. Also looking at that Birthday Basher. Birthday Basher doesn't gain Summoning Sadness as long as Sweet Tooth is also in play, but she does not have Sweet Tooth, but she does have Gormander, and she is going to play Gormander for 5. Gormander, when summoned, will allow her to search her deck for any food beast that she wants and put it in her hand. And this effect can be done multiple times. It's whenever that Gormander is summoned, attacking, or defending. Very, very strong card for her deck. Very pricey and has the low power of 2, but I think it's worth it for what it does. And it looks like she's referring to the referee for something. I don't know what it could be, but it does look like maybe she's thinking about playing down that, I believe that's a magical canopy. We just do not know. And she is going to get a warning because the Greedy Goblin summoning pool is completely empty. So she could not play that Grotto even if she felt like it. The Greedy Goblin Nacho Cheese Monster is looking through her deck, and she opts to grab a Sweet Tooth, just the card that she was looking for. So it looks like we know exactly what she'll be doing on her next turn. Nacho Cheese Monster is still looking through her hand as if she has anything to play. She doesn't realize it yet, but there's absolutely nothing she can do here. And it looks like maybe she is going to pass her turn, which is why she's discarding those. And she does. She passes it over to the Greedy Goblin. I wonder what the Greedy Goblin is going to play on this turn. There's so much for him to do. He's got the aimbot out. And we see that he has the Meowdy in hand. Now, it's just a matter of if he plays it or not. We also see that bounty board. He might choose to play that bounty board to get rid of that Gormander. And he's also holding on to two Starbit clusters. He's moving very slow, very leisurely. He does not care about anything right now. Very confident. And he is going to play that bounty board for 2. Force Nacho Cheese Monster to score that Gormander. Bringing her score to 1. Making her 1 card ahead of the Greedy Goblin as he hasn't scored anything yet. And he does pass it over to Nacho Cheese Monster. Nacho Cheese Monster is currently frozen in time, not doing anything. And she just drew into a Crabcha, which means she has 2 in her hand. And she goes ahead and she plays that Sweet Tooth for 2. I bet we'll see that Birthday Basher follow up immediately. Let's see. Let's see the magic. Looks like she's going to use Sweet Tooth's ability first before bringing out that Birthday Basher. And she misses it, and now that Sweet Tooth has to rest. Not looking too good. What? And she passes it to the Greedy Goblin instead of playing the Birthday Basher. And we see the Greedy Goblin has a Sneak Thief in hand. If he plays that Sneak Thief, then Nacho Cheese Monster will not be able to bring out that Birthday Basher. And it looks like he is going to use that Sneak Thief. Oh my goodness. Nacho Cheese Monster really, really should have played down that Birthday Basher. Oh God. Nacho Cheese Monster trying to pull the rug over Greedy Goblin's head, not drawing that 3 cards from the Sneak Thief, maybe thinking that he is stupid or something. And there we see the Greedy Goblin chooses for her to discard that Birthday Basher. If I were in Nacho Cheese Monster's position right now, I think I might start pooping my pants, because that is the one card that I need in this moment to start getting some damage out on the board. And Greedy Goblin is attacking for 6. Nacho Cheese Monster defends for 1, so the Greedy Goblin will score 5 cards, putting him 4 ahead of Nacho Cheese Monster. And looks like Greedy Goblin is announcing something to the ref. Nacho Cheese Monster looked very upset, maybe even distressed that her Birthday Basher was, thrown away. I would be pretty upset as well. And the Greedy Goblin looking around or something. Greedy Goblin still hasn't made a move yet. He's just talking to the referee, it would appear. Nacho Cheese Monster taking this opportunity to look at what she has and decide what she is going to play when Greedy Goblin passes the turn. And the Greedy Goblin passes. Nacho Cheese Monster's off rip, just gonna play that Starbit Cluster for 3. She's looking for something here, presumably another Birthday Basher. At least that's what I'd be looking for. And she does not find a Birthday Basher. In fact, she doesn't find anything very good. Ooh. This is not looking too good for Nacho Cheese Monster. And Greedy Goblin still unfazed, not even looking at his hand. And Nacho Cheese Monster passes it to the Greedy Goblin. The Greedy Goblin is now looking through his hand for the first time since his last turn. He does not seem bothered at all by this matchup. I mean, after what happened between Nacho Cheese Monster and the sequence, I personally would be extremely, extremely worried. Greedy Goblin has yet to make a play this turn. Taking his time. And it looks like he is finally going to play something. I wonder. And there we see he plays a Meowdy for 4. Setting everything up, getting everything he needs prepared for that potential Greedy Grinner play. And now it looks like he's going to go in for an attack. What will he roll? He rolls a 6, and he is going to attack for 7. And it looks like Nacho Cheese Monster is going to defend. They're asking the referee a question. And it looks like Nacho Cheese Monster will be defending for 3. A little bit of confusion on how Otto's ability works, but they got that all cleared up. The Greedy Goblin is sitting with 9 cards scored and passes it to Nacho Cheese Monster, who only has 1 card scored, and that card was scored against her own will. That Gormander will never return from that score pile. She's going to play a Crabcha for 2. Each Crabcha that she plays is 1 less if there is another one in play already. Which means the next Crabcha she plays would only cost 1, and then the third would cost 0. But, I mean, that is assuming that the Greedy Goblin doesn't take it out, which he has taken out every beast Nacho Cheese Monster has put out so far. So it's safe to assume that that Crabcha is soon going to be history. Nacho Cheese Monster holding on to that Weenie Mutt. Maybe considering a Weenie Mutt play, but she needs to be careful that the Weenie Mutt does not get discarded in any way, because that would put a major dent in all her plans. She is going to play that Weenie Mutt for 2, not even thinking about it at all. Put 0 thoughts behind this play. Didn't even consider that it could be taken out in a moment's notice. And she's going to pass to the Greedy Goblin. Oh, brother. The Greedy Goblin has plenty of cards to work with here. The Greedy Goblin taking shots at his previous opponent, Officer Brakowski. And we see he is preparing some sort of play. Nacho Cheese Monster seems to be distracted by something. And the Greedy Goblin is going to play something. And he's going to play a Sneak Thief for 3. That has got to hurt for Nacho Cheese Monster. That is the one card that if I were Nacho Cheese Monster, that's the one card I don't want to see right now. That and that bounty board. Ooh. What is the Greedy Goblin going to get rid of? There is another Birthday Basher in her hand, but no Sweet Tooth. And he is really eyeballing that Sweet Tooth, but is going to have her discard that Book of Wonder to prevent her from searching for anything and potentially turning her situation around, because he also recognizes that Nacho Cheese Monster has a terrible hand. And it looks like he's going to go ahead and attack. And he's going to attack for 10. Nacho Cheese Monster is thinking of defending. Nacho Cheese Monster is going to defend for, I believe that is, what would that be? That'd be 5, or 6, maybe. If that auto decides to defend as well, that would bring it up to 6. But it looks like she's really thinking hard about what she's going to defend with. And it looks like maybe she's doing the math. She is an NPC, so she should be able to compute the numbers very fast, but she's really bad at it. And there we see she does defend for 6. So the Greedy Goblin will only score 4, bringing him up to 13. Nacho Cheese Monster chooses to apply that damage to that aimbot, so that aimbot is now out of the equation. But Nacho Cheese Monster will also have to discard both of her beasts, which is very, very unfortunate. Nacho Cheese Monster just looking through her hand, seeing what she has. Greedy Goblin is making some sort of small talk with the cameraman. And the Greedy Goblin is discarding a bonus luck and is passing it over to Nacho Cheese Monster. Nacho Cheese Monster is only now getting rid of her beasts. I'd say she's wasting no time to get rid of them, but that is the opposite of what's happening. She actually wasted a ton of time by not getting rid of them. Let's see, what does she have that she could possibly do here? We see that Birthday Basher. All she really needs, though, to make a play like that is that Sweet Tooth. But looks like she's really eyeballing that Intimidate. That Intimidate could really help her out here. That Birthday Basher is coming out for 4. And let's see what is she planning on doing with that Birthday Basher? The real good play probably would have been that Intimidate to get the Meowdy onto the sideline. Wouldn't do much, but it would at least prevent the Greedy Goblin from doing any more damage than he has already. And Nacho Cheese Monster is going to pass to the Greedy Goblin. Greedy Goblin is still taking his time, even though his turn has started. Taking his sweet time. He is truly unbothered, but I'm going to need him to start feeling a bit bothered and get something done here. It looks like he's going to play something here. He's going to go ahead and play a bounty board. Force her to score that birthday basher. And another Meowdy is coming out. Greedy Goblin even reminding her to pick up cards from her summoning pool. And the Greedy Goblin attacks for 4. Nacho Cheese Monster defends for 1. And let's take a look at what just happened. We see that he plays that bounty board to force Nacho Cheese Monster to score that birthday basher. But she puts it in her discard pile instead of her score pile, which is why her score did not just update. I mean, it is truly a shame that, plays like this are happening. But the Greedy Goblin does pass it over to Nacho Cheese Monster. The referee hasn't even peeped that, and I wouldn't have either if, the producer didn't tell me what happened in my ear. But she's going to go ahead and play a Starbit Cluster for 3 to draw into 4 new cards. And we see another Weenie Mutt. It is honestly a lost cause for Nacho Cheese Monster at this point in time. She finally has that Sweet Tooth, but no Birthday Basher. And she goes ahead and she plays that Weenie Mutt for 2. She is really, really trying to, scrape something together. She's trying to scrape up anything, any sort of damage, any sort of defense, but it hasn't been going very well for her at all. And that Crabcha comes out for 2. And she is completely loaded with power-up cards. And she's going to go ahead and play a clip that. Maybe power up her beasts for a defense of some sorts, which would be the smartest thing to do here. That is probably her only hope of turning this around. But that is also assuming Greedy Goblin doesn't make that Greedy Grinner play, which would be absolutely destructive for Nacho Cheese Monster right now. Nacho Cheese Monster still looking through her hand. And it looks like the Greedy Goblin is upset about something and is complaining to the referee. Potentially laying down the law here. Nacho Cheese Monster tries to attack even though Summoning Sadness is in effect. And she goes ahead and she passes. Maybe she thought that she could still attack. But unfortunately, she cannot. The Greedy Goblin is setting up some sort of play. What is it going to be? We do see it. That Greedy Grinner. And then for one, a try another right after. Now we will see what happens here. If it ends in a tie, then Greedy Goblin wins regardless. So he really has a 66% chance to win right now. And even then, if he misses it, and he gets it, scoring 32 total. Oh my God. Very, very impressive game. Both players are going to start shuffling their decks. Make sure. It looks like the Greedy Goblin is unsure if his cards are facing the right way. I don't know why they wouldn't be facing the right way. They should be. Greedy Goblin is just now shuffling his deck, whereas Nacho Cheese Monster has already shuffled her deck. Irresponsible play from the Greedy Goblin of all people. It looks like both players may be happy with their hands. What will happen this game? Is Nacho Cheese Monster going to be able to turn things around, or is she going to suffer the same fate? Nacho Cheese Monster gets to choose who goes first and who goes second. If I were in her position, I would choose to go first, assuming I have a Sweet Tooth and Birthday Basher. That would be the best play here. Oh, she does choose to go first. But she plays a Book of Wonder for 2 instead. Maybe she's going to look for a Clip That. And she is grabbing that Clip That. And she is playing the Clip That. Maybe, just maybe, we are about to see a crazy play from Nacho Cheese Monster. Maybe things have officially turned around. You just never know with Nacho Cheese Monster. Very, very terrifying player. Sometimes can make the worst play of all time. And then other times is completely on top of things and is ruining your life. What is she doing here? Just looking through things in her hands. She's not going to play yet. She hasn't played anything yet. She could totally play something down right now. And she's going to play a Sweet Tooth for 2. That Sweet Tooth for 2 comes out. Now she just needs to flip a coin to see if it stays awake or goes to sleep. And it goes to sleep. Wow. There it goes, shutting down. And, oh my God. She chooses to pass, even though she has the Birthday Basher in hand. She could have swung on this turn, which would have really, really benefited her. But she chose not to. And an aimbot comes out 4-4. A 4 for 4. Yep. That's what this is. This aimbot is coming out. And speaking of 4 for 4, this is technically the 4th, not even technically, this just is the 4th game that the Greedy Goblin has played in this tournament. And he is, right now, he is 3-0. Can he go 4 for 4? Passing it over to Nacho Cheese Monster. Didn't even get rid of that Sweet Tooth. And we... Let's see. She's eyeballing that Starbit cluster, but she should really be eyeballing the fucking Birthday Basher. And she doesn't play the Birthday Basher again. And she plays a Starbit cluster for 3. Not what I would have did. My apologies. I may have lost my cool for just a second there. But do not worry. Do not be afraid. Okay? Do not be afraid. That is the last thing you need to do. Alright? I'm fine. I'm calm and collected. She is looking at that Birthday Basher. So chances are we will see that get played this turn, which would benefit her a lot. She still hasn't woken up her Sweet Tooth, which should have been awake by now. And we do see that Birthday Basher come out. And because Sweet Tooth is in play, Birthday Basher does not gain summoning sadness. She's trying to choose. She's trying to decide what cards will go into her summoning pool. Looks like she made her choice. And she opted to keep and eat it up. And Nacho Cheese Monster can attack. Like, right now. She can do that. If she wants. And she does wake up that sweet tooth. Now the question is she going to attack? And Nacho Cheese Monster is going to be attacking for 6 here. And the Greedy Goblin is going to let her score all 6 of those cards. And this is a big step for Nacho Cheese Monster. I will say it is kind of terrifying that the Greedy Goblin chose not to defend when he very easily could have. Which means he's got something in mind, possibly a counter swing. He's not too worried about 6 measly cards being scored, alright? He's going to play something here. And a Meowdy comes out. Oh, and an aimbot as well. 8 cards. That is quite the expensive play. And he is going to attack with that Mr. Greens and that other aimbot that doesn't have summoning status. He rolls 2-1, so he gets to score 3 cards. Disturbing. And since he already initiated that attack, it must go through. And another 2 going for him. He is still 1 behind Nacho Cheese Monster. So, Nacho Cheese Monster has quite the opportunity here to really bring it back into her corner. That first game was not optimal for her at all. But this game, this one right here, she can turn it around. She can prevent the Greedy Goblin from going 4 for 4 and force a 3rd game to happen. Let's see. What does Nacho Cheese Monster do here? And it looks like she's going to go ahead and play that Gourmander for 5. Things are getting interesting. She's going to put 5 cards into the summoning pool. Can I? And she's going to be able to search her deck for any foodie beast that she wants and put it into her hand. Assuming she does. I mean, that she could totally just use the ability. And it looks like she remembered to use Gourmander's ability. Thank God that she did not forget. And it looks like she's going to grab a Weenie Mutt. That Weenie Mutt could cause a lot of problems for the Greedy Goblin if that Weenie Mutt is unchecked. That Weenie Mutt, when in the perfect position, can have a base of 6 damage. 6 power base is nothing to scoff at, especially when all the other beasts around you are also gaining 1 power. So it can really easily go from 6 all the way up to 10 15, 20, you name it. All without the usage of power-up cards. Those power-up cards will only make things worse for her opponents. And she's going to go ahead and play that Weenima in the, not the worst position possible, but definitely not the best either. In fact, quite far from the best. And it looks like she's going to try and use that Starbit Cluster to pay for it, which is not how that works, but whatever. Who fucking cares, I guess. And it looks like she has another Birthday Basher. She should have played the other Birthday Basher, because having that second Birthday Basher, then she would have been able to attack for even more than last time. She attacked for 6 her last turn. If she played down a second Birthday Basher, then she'd be looking at attacking for 9. And it looks like she's trying to make a play with nothing in the opponent's summoning pool, which is going to get her in trouble. I can only guess that the Greedy Goblin is telling the referee right now, and yep, she gets a warning. She's got another warning. Thank God, not consecutively. They were in separate games, I'll give her that. She chooses to pass instead of attacking. What? Greedy Goblin is immediately going into a big attack here. Maybe this was the smart move from Nacho Cheese Monster, anticipating the need to defend. The Greedy Goblin is going to attack for 9. Nacho Cheese Monster is going to allow the Greedy Goblin to score quite a bit, actually. But I can see where she's coming from, because now she's going to be able to look for a Foodie Beast. It's getting rough. It is starting to get rough. Nacho Cheese Monster is now starting to fall behind the Greedy Goblin in score. But grabbing that Crabcha was definitely the right play, because now it would look like her next turn she can counterswing pretty heavily. And let's see. They're just calculating the amount that she's defending for, but his score has already updated. And the Greedy Goblin has something to say to the referee. And the Greedy Goblin will lose one of those aimbots. What is Nacho Cheese Monster doing? And so now the Greedy Goblin is finally going to score those 5 cards that are rightfully his. Rightfully! And the Greedy Goblin is going to go into his second action phase here. What are we going to see here? It looks like we're going to see the Greedy Grinner and a try another. Yep. This will bring, if he's successful, this will bring the Greedy Goblin 1 away from winning, which leaves Nacho Cheese Monster with only 1 turn to make a play. Let's see what's going to happen. Oh, goddamn. So, Nacho Cheese Monster will have to discard her score pile. Oh, my God. And the Greedy Goblin scores another 10. Absolutely destroying Nacho Cheese Monster. But Nacho Cheese Monster has a chance. I truly believe that Nacho Cheese Monster will be able to take this back. She just needs to really go like sweaty try hard mode. Greedy Goblin lost count for a second and is now making sure that he has those 20 cards scored. The Greedy Goblin. And it looks like that Dunk Tank is coming out for 3. That Dunk Tank, choose a beast and flip a coin if and call it if the Greedy Goblin is correct. The beast that he chose is discarded. If he is wrong, then his opponent gets to draw a card from the top of the deck. It looks like he's targeting that Weenie Mutt. And he's going to try again. And he does get that heads. Discarding that Weenie Mutt. Things are not looking good for Nacho Cheese Monster as he passes the turn over to her. What was looking like what could have been an attack for 5, will be 11 damage base, is now all the way back down to 6 base. She really needs to focus on playing power-up cards, power up those beasts, and just full force it. But it, she plays a Crabcha. Maybe she's going to try and defend for more than the Greedy Goblin can attack for. But I don't think that's wise here. You've got to take it home here, because the Greedy Goblin could always use another Greedy Grinner. Look at those power-up cards that she has. And also an Intimidate could push that aimbot backwards and stall everything out, or even the Meowdy, so then she can attack without having to worry about him defending. There are plenty of things that she could do here. We do see an Eat It Up for one. She is going to start powering things up. Very, very crazy. Super crazy, actually. And will she draw her card? Draw a card, please. Nacho Cheese Monster making so many mistakes here. There's got to be some sort of flaw in her code that is causing all this. And of all cards, she's going to play a Haunted Manor for 4. What are we going to be seeing here? What is Nacho Cheese Monster going to do here? How is Nacho Cheese Monster going to respond? We don't know yet. We don't know. You know? Come on. Let's make a play here. And she's going to play another Eat It Up for 1. It's not going to do her much of anything. It looks like she'll be able to attack for a total of 8. If she hadn't lost that Weenie Mutt, she'd be attacking for a lot more. Unsure, though. And Nacho Cheese Monster is going to attack for 8. And the Greedy Goblin is going to let her score that 8. Very, very confident in his abilities here. It looks like she's going to use that Haunted Manor ability. Very interesting play here. Maybe setting something up for her next turn. That Haunted Manor, if she has 2 or less cards in her hand as she's ending her turn, she may choose a card from her discard pile and put it into her hand. What are we going to see entering her hand? It looks like that Gormander is what she's going to choose. Or not. Or not. Oh, that Weenie Mutt would also be a pretty decent choice, considering we did just see both Weenie Mutts and both Gormanders are in the discard pile. Holy smokes. And Nacho Cheese Monster is going to grab that Weenie Mutt and put it into her hand. And let's see. She does have something in mind. We know that much for sure. But it is now the Greedy Goblin's turn. It is just a matter of if she can withstand what the Greedy Goblin throws. He's going to play a Dance Off. Each player will reveal the top card of their deck. Whoever has the lower number will put it in their hand. Or whoever has the higher number will go into their hand. The lower number will get scored. Let's see, what is the Greedy Goblin going to do here? That dance-off did not work out in his favor. He was trying to take the easy way out. And the Greedy Goblin is going for an attack for 9. And that does not matter because that is game regardless. The Greedy Goblin will now go into the final. Unreal. I cannot wait to see this final matchup. It's going to be something truly